message hasn't been placed, or let's say there hasn't been a group for that message already defined. So what we'll say is we'll say groups has own property, and we'll simply say key. But in this case, obviously, if we're dealing with the first one, it's not going to have that property. So we're just going to say if it doesn't have that property, then what should it do? So essentially, when we do this, where we've got one object called groups, let's just comment that out. We've got an object called groups, and we've essentially got these like subfolders within it. So folder 1, folder 2, and essentially each folder expands and it has some other content. So in our case, that content is going to be options and a header if we've got multiple items. And to make things easier for React, what we'll say is a property called singular. Now what this singular is going to do is, it's not necessary, but we can just, idea is that if there's more than one option, then, or if there's more than one message, then singular is going to be set to false, whereas if there's just one option, then singular is going to be set to true. And that's essentially what we're doing here. We're just creating a bunch of folders, all of them with these three properties, and whenever we find a message that has the same key or is in the same folder, we'll just push it into here. And the moment that we have more than one option, we'll define a header for it. So if the group doesn't have, or if the group simply doesn't exist, then what we'll say is we'll say object.assign. So we're essentially just creating a new folder here, and we're going to assign it to this groups object. So we're going to create a new property within the groups object, and we're going to call it message or key. Sorry. So it's going to be called key, and that key is going to be an object with options set to an empty array, or probably not. We'll change that in a second. We'll have a header set to undefined. We could have it as an empty string, but or something along those lines. But we'll say undefined for the time being, and then we'll have singular set to true, because this is the one. If we're dealing with this item, then it's the first item, and so there isn't any other message within that folder, and so it's just going to be singular. When we come to this message, however, this message is going to have, well, this message is going to be pushed in, but because there's more than one message here, this is going to be set to false. So within this options array, we're just going to add in that message, because we know that's what we want to do. And then singular, we're going to set it to true for the start. Else, however, if let's say we're somewhere here, so we're at message 4, or rather we're at message 3, and what's it? So we're at message 3, and we've just finished message 3. We're about to add message 4. So it's already going to have its own folder, and so what we can do is we can push it onto this options list. So all we're going to say is we're going to say find the group, and the way you're going to find the group is that you're going to go here, and then you're just going to look for the message key. So to do that, we are going to say groups. We're going to use the square brackets like we did here, and we're going to say the key. So that tells us, well, this key could be folder 1, it could be folder 2, we just don't know what it is, which is why we're using the brackets, else we'll be using the dot. But now that we know that there's going to be an options property defined within this object, we can just say dot options, and we are going to push into that array this message. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to say if the header isn't already defined, so if it's not, well, if the header is equal to undefined, so if this is like the second item within this folder, then we want to define what our header is going to be. So we can quite easily just say, well, this is going to header, it doesn't know what header is until we say groups key dot header. Okay, so if the header is equal to undefined, then we want to define the header. So key dot header is going to be equal to well, it's going to be equal to the person the message is from. So that will just be message dot from plus, well, not plus, we don't need it in this scenario, has sent you has sent you. We're going to tell the user how many messages it has. So it's going to be groups key dot options dot length, just like so. So I guess this is it. We'll probably find errors, and if we do, we'll just fix them. But this is just the basic idea. And the other thing that we want to do, if we have more than one message, is we want to set singular to false. So because I mean now it's no longer singular, so key and then we'll say singular set to false. So you'll find out why exactly. I mean, it's not necessary, but I just feel it's a good property to have. So now what we'll say